everybody, this is Christine with Cocoa Daisy, and today I'm going to share with you a few layouts that I created using our June Wander collection, specifically the Modern Memory Keeping Kit. So I like to do these tutorials every month with the collection just to kind of give you some ideas on how to use some of the product, some inspiration to kind of help you get going, so that you can just kind of grab your kit and start. Kind of gives you a jumping off point if you're new to memory keeping or scrapbooking, or if you've been doing it forever. It's just still nice to get some ideas and some inspiration. So that's what I like to do. The wonderful thing about our Modern Memory Keeping Kit is, regardless of how you like to do memory keeping, if you like to do old school 12 by 12 scrapbooking, it will work for that. Pocket scrapbooking, pocket memory keeping, memory planning, card making, mini albums, anything you want to do, paper crafting or memory keeping, the Modern Memory Keeping Kit is perfect for that. So one of the things that I wanted to highlight that came in the kit, we did something special, and we included a full set of alpha stamps. So I highlighted those a little bit on a couple of the layouts, and I'll show you what I did with that. And it also came with an ink cube. So I did a 12 by 12 layout first, and I have to say, the one thing that's on here, and I don't normally do this, but when I had just my 12 by 12 sheet of white cardstock, it just needed something else. And I kept toying with it. And what I ended up doing is pulling out one of our 12 by 12 sheets of pattern paper to create this border. So normally I don't like to bring in things from any of the, use just what's in the kit, but to make this layout really work, I did bring that in. And it does give me the opportunity to talk about, if you do get our pattern papers, or you subscribe, so you can subscribe to the pattern papers or the scrapbooking kit, one of the ways to help conserve paper, if you want to do something like this, is to actually cut out. You don't have to use it all, you just need to leave a border. So what I did is I cut out this inside section so I can still use this paper rather than using it all as the background. So that's a good way, a good tip to kind of stretch your stretch your pattern paper just a little bit. So let me check and make sure that I'm going to actually zoom in just a little bit so you can see this a little better. So I printed my picture really pretty big, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to stamp the title on the photograph. And this is a really fun technique, especially when you have an outline alpha like this, because it's not super heavy. You can still see the picture go through it, but it's a neat layer to add on there. If you are going to stamp on a glossy surface like a photograph, I highly recommend using a StazOn ink. It's meant to be used on glossy surfaces. Just be careful when you put it down that it can sometimes slide a little, so just be careful when you put it down that you pull it up real straight and not slide it at all. But so that's what I did for the title, and then I added some of the puffy alphas on there. And then I went in and I added 3 little photographs that go with this as well. There's a couple of die cuts that I put on here. There's some rub-ons, piece of chipboard. And then I took one of the pocket cards. Actually, I should back up. I pulled out my sewing machine, which I haven't done in quite a while, and I had a lot of fun with it. I actually sewed the cardstock onto the background paper. And then I also sewed around the edge of the 3x4 card. I put a little bit of foam adhesive around the edge and actually created a pocket then for this tag. The tag and the string are from my stash, but then I added a few of the little rub-ons. There's a rub-on here as well. And then that's just kind of a fun way to include your journaling, and then that slides right in there just by making the pocket that way. I added a few glitter dots. There's a little bit of ink splatters on here, and then just a couple of little word phrases or little highlights of where this is and the date. And that's just cutting those strips out. You just print those out of your printer and cut them out. But I really like how it turned out, and I like having this blue border around it. So sometimes if you feel like your layout just isn't grounded right, then you can add that layer and it will kind of ground everything. Because that is how I felt. I felt like it was just kind of floating, even though we had this flow going. So you can see what I've got here with the paint splatters and just kind of the structure of the layout. It does flow this way and it brings your eye in, but at the same time I just felt like the entire thing was floating a little bit. So that's why I added the pattern paper for the border. And I did raise these up on a little bit of foam adhesive too, just to kind of add another layer on there as well. So that's my 12 by 12 layout. And it's another fun way to use those pocket cards is actually as a pocket. So that's a good way to use those. And then I like to start some of my memory keeping or my memory planning pages from my Daisy Planner. I do this every month. I show you kind of how I will pre-do a paper or a weekly spread, because obviously I don't have the pictures for June yet, but I thought it would be fun to just kind of give you some ideas. So I used these stamps. These are the number stamps. These are from May, and I think we still have some more of these in the store. So, and that is with that navy ink cube as well, the Stamp Market Navy. And then I went through and I stamped Backyard Oasis because it will be June. So I'm going to try and center this weekly spread on, hopefully we're going to be in the backyard a bunch. And so it'll be pictures of the pool and the backyard and us hanging out under the gazebo and having a wonderful warm summer. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this spread. And these, so one of these is a piece of chipboard, one is a die cut. And I thought they were so fun. I strung them together with a little bit of string and put them on there. And then this one, the larger one, is actually from one of the pocket cards, but I cut it out. So it's another way to use those pocket cards if you look through them. And I can even grab a couple out of here and show you. I gotta show you something anyway on another layout. But you can cut out, so like even this one here, you could cut this out and use it to add journaling if you want to. You don't have to use them just as they are. Cut them up, use them for pattern paper. You could cut this out and use it as a tag. You could cut this one out as well. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use these aside from just as a 3x4 card. These would make a great little mini album as well. But so I cut that out of one of these and put that on there. This is from the Daisy Planner sticker sheet. So these are sized or formatted to fit in these spaces in your Daisy Planner memory planner. So I put one of those in there, and then just another little piece of chipboard. And then obviously I'll go in and add a bunch more stuff once I get my photographs and figure out how I want to finish the layout. So that is a memory planning layout. And then I've been doing this, and this has been a lot of fun. And these are just actual pages from the Minimalist collection that I had punched and disc bound just to kind of mess around with and try some things. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste them. So I've just turned it into a mini album. So every once in a while, not every month, almost every month, I create a layout in here, and we just kind of play with it and just throw it right on the pages. So I liked this one on this side with the days of the week. I thought that was kind of neat. I added the photograph, and I liked the idea of triangles. We've done hexagons, I've done circles, you've seen me do that, and I thought, well, triangles would be kind of fun. Has a bit of a nautical feel. And so what I did is let me make sure I got that in frame for you. I went through and I cut out some of the pattern paper, but I wanted a little bit, I wanted a few other colors that I didn't have in the pattern paper. So like I was just saying, what you can do is you can go through the cards and cut out bits from those, which is what I did here. If you look at this card, I wanted that little bit of navy, the darker color, to kind of make that photograph pop. So I cut one of the triangles out of the darker color. This Paradise is Waiting, that has that kind of pink, that brings out kind of our skin tone, I guess. little bit of sunburn, little pink. And I liked the Paradise is Waiting. That's from a card as well. So I cut that out, and then I cut that one out. This one is from a card. This is from the pattern paper. So these were actually from, I think, one of the 4x6 cards. So that's a great way to stretch these, is to think of them sometimes as little bits or snippets of pattern paper as well. Especially when you're doing a smaller scale layout like this, it's really, really easy to do. And I just added the little chipboard, which again was in that triangle shape, so mimicking that. And if you look, this one is pointing down, so it's bringing your eye into it, and then these are bumping your eye back up, and then of course you're following through this way to the little bit of journaling. I added a die cut and then another piece of chipboard that kind of matched these colors, the neutral colors over here. Just a little bit of paint splatter on there just to give it a little bit of texture. And that's it. It was actually a really quick, super easy layout to throw together. And again, that's what I love about using this size page. It's a great scale and it's smaller. So sometimes when you do a 12 by 12, it can be a little intimidating to try and fill up that whole space. This size is a great size. You know, like let's say you've been scrapbooking, you haven't done it in a while, and you're like, I don't really feel like using a traveler's notebook, or I'm not into pocket or memory planning, but I'd like to do some smaller scale. This is a great size to do that. And I believe it's about 6 by 8 or 6 by 9. Actually, I can tell you if I use my T-square. Yeah, you're about 6 by 8.5 is what the pages are. But a 6 by 8, 6 by 9 size would be really, really fun to do. And yeah, I'm having fun just throwing these in here. And it's a great way to use up scraps as well, this smaller size. So that is a look at just a few of the things that I will be creating with this fabulous Wander collection. And as of right now, the Modern Memory Keeping Kit has sold out. Thank you all very, very much. We do have, and I'll put the link down for you. We do have a few of these left that we're going to put in the store. So there's just a few of them. I don't know how quickly they'll sell out, but you can grab one of those if they're still available. And then if they're not, and you want one, sign up for our wait list, because if that's really popular, then I will order a bunch more for the store, and we will keep them in the store as well. If you like the Modern Memory Keeping Kit, you missed out, you don't want to miss out again, make sure you sign up for subscription. That's the best way to always be guaranteed a kit as well. And make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to know if you are enjoying these tutorials, or if there's anything in particular when I do them that you would like me to demonstrate or hit on. Just let me know. I would love to know that, and then I can take that going forward and maybe give you some more tips. Oh, and one other thing before I go. Make sure you check out, and I will link this as well, make sure you check out my stamping tutorial for the month that shows you some fun ways of using that alpha stamp set as well. So I do a stamping tutorial every month as well. So check that out too. So thank you all so much. Make sure you hit like and subscribe.